Jason Statham has a new movie with David Ayer. How is it? It's time to talk about the bee's knees. Everyone, welcome to 2024 on Epictastic Joshua. I am Joshua Drake. It's time to get down to the first of many reviews of 2024 releases and 2024 reviews or videos in general. Here we go with my review of The Beekeeper. This is directed by yours truly, David Ayer. It stars Jason Statham, Josh Hutcherson, Phylicia Rashad, Jeremy Irons, and Minnie Driver. So, the premise of this movie is we follow a one-man's brutal campaign for vengeance takes on national stakes after it's revealed that he is a former operative of powerful and clandestine organization known as Beekeepers. Essentially what he's doing is he's going after these group of people after his friend and neighbor dies after getting fucked over by a bunch of people. When it comes to David Ayer, this is a director that he is pretty hit and miss. I don't hate David Ayer as a director. He does do some very good movies, like Street Kings was great. I liked In the Watch. I'm one of the few people who actually quite enjoyed Bright, and I actually liked some of his other films he directed, like Fury. His 2016 version of Suicide Squad, that was a time where I actually really loved that movie, but over time I found more frustration since it's not his version. I did not see The Tax Collector, and he also has written some movies I quite enjoyed, especially the first Fast and Furious, which gained into a big franchise, and he also wrote one of my personal favorites of all time, Training Day. I was actually really interested in seeing what side of David Ayer was we gonna get. Were we gonna get the side that did End of Watch and also good movies like Fury, or was we gonna get one of those studio interfered David Ayer situations like Suicide Squad? And I'm happy to report, while this is not great cinema, this is a really kick-ass time at the movies that is just the early days of early 90s movies like Hard Target and Predator 2, or even stuff like Maximum Risk and stuff, that type of era of action movies. This is not going to change the game or anything, but I think for what we got, I had some fun with this. What the positives of this movie is, you know who you come to see this movie for. You know it, I know it. He's fucking awesome. Whether the movie is good, bad, mediocre, or dumb fun, you can always count on Jason Statham. He's one of the best action stars we got right now. Not everything he does has been great, but I think for anything that he does, I always enjoy seeing him in. I love the Transporter trilogy. Even the third movie with his problems, actually we're going to be playing reviews after this. Also, I love him in Furious 7. I loved him in Hobbs and Shaw. The Meg 1 and 2, he's just fighting some megalodons. And here, you know what he's gonna be. It is pretty much this typical likable Jason Statham role, with him just going around as a beekeeper of this association, taking on these group of allies and villains who fucked over Phylicia Rashad's character, which it was nice to see her in another movie again. I always like Phylicia Rashad as an actress. I think she does a really good job into the movie for the little screen time she's had. But Jason Statham is who you come to see. He has fun with this. He's very physical in the action scenes. Even though he is in his 50s, he looks pretty damn young doing all these action scenes. I don't know if that's just because he takes good care of himself or what, but you can always count on Jason Statham to just get involved with the action and just has a lot of fun in terms of what he goes with the performance. And I quite really enjoyed him. I will say, cinematography wise, the movie is not going to win Academy Awards for best cinematography, but there are some good moments for the most part of camera shots and camera trickery, and especially in terms of some of the action scenes that he's willing to go for and that he is going on with in terms of it. And I think overall, in terms of the cinematography aspects and such, I think in terms he does a good job in the cinematography aspects by Gabriel Beristain. He's a cinematographer I know very well for Black Widow and also Blade Trinity and Blade 2. Some of the action looks pretty damn competent for the movie here, and I would say it keeps you invested. It kept me interested, and I was easily just enjoying a lot of the fun moments that this movie had to throw at you in terms of action. I'm not bored. I'm sitting there fully invested. And for a movie that is an hour and 42 minutes, it goes by fast. It goes by real quick. It's just, there is some issues in terms of the pacing, in terms of some of the writing, but I come to an action movie to get some fun enjoyment. I don't expect every action movie to be the greatest movie ever, but as long as you have a likable character and you can have the lowest bare minimum of story or character development, and as long as you have some interesting characters, I'm always interested in terms of what they could do. Like I said, action movies has since evolved since the 90s with John Wick and The Equalizer, Mission Impossible, and even Gunpowder Milkshake, which, yes, I'm going there again, like I did with Expendables 4, but it's always nice to have just a simple movie action film that knows exactly what it is. And I did enjoy what this movie was going for and what it was offering. The score by David Sardy and Jared Michael Fry is good. Editing is good. I also think David Ayer's direction is pretty solid. Now, this is something that's not going to bring him back full force, but I think this is kind of a step in the right direction for him. All he needed was a script that was a little bit better, which we're going to get into in terms of negatives. But I will say his directing is really competent. And I also enjoyed the rest of the cast here. You have Emmy Raver-Lampman, who I've never seen her before. She was actually pretty good. I already touched on Phylicia Rashad. Josh Hutcherson was cool. Bobby Naderi, the Scottish guy, I loved him in this. Honestly, I think the Scottish is pretty good acting-wise. And even in the film business, TV-wise, the Scottish is always someone interesting to see. Whether you have Ewan McGregor or you have musicians like Sheena Easton or you have the lovely Karen Gillan, which that would be an awesome little movie. You have Jason Statham and Karen Gillan in a movie. Probably ever happened though, but it's just something interesting. Minnie Driver. Acting is not Oscar worthy, but overall I think the performances do keep this afloat, and aside from the action. Now going into the issues when it comes to this movie, obviously the script is not great. Let's just say it right now. I'm not the only person who's gonna say it, who's liked the movie. Even if you hate the movie or in the middle with it, script is not very good here. And you have Kurt Wimmer writing this. Now, this name sounds familiar because he's wrote some stuff I actually like. I like the Thomas Crown Affair remake. Equilibrium was a guilty pleasure. Law Abiding Citizen was cool. I like Salt. I'm one of the few who didn't hate Total Recall. But he's also has some stuff like Children of the Corn 2023 or Expendables, which was not great. Ultraviolet, which was not a good movie, but it's kind of like dumb, stupid background noise. Not the best track record here. I feel like the dialogue in this movie is absolutely ridiculous. Of course, I appreciate this movie knows what it is, but in terms of dialogue and in terms of some of the words they have to say, not the best. The puns in this movie are laughable. Like the one at the beginning, it's time to get down to the bee's knees. Those other lines that Jason Statham will say in the script like this in his cool, badass, macho man voice. You can tell, like, this is not the strongest writer. Also some logic issues and also over-the-top ridiculousness, which is out of the realm of possibility that you are gonna get into when it comes to an action movie. again, not the most realistic action movie. If you want realistic, there's plenty of other action movies that does go for the realism thing. That is one of the biggest issues here. I will also say the villain, Jeremy Irons, is hamming this bitch up like it is nobody's business. And he's having fun with it. Still a legendary actor. He's still the best Scar, in my opinion. But I will say, he is just hamming it up like son of a bitch. And it does get obnoxious a few times, but I do enjoy overall what he's trying to bring and what the commitment he was going to bring. So some of the action here is not the most competently edited. Now, you make out what's going on. You can definitely see what's going on. I can see a lot of what the hand-to-hand combat. I just feel like there should have been a secondary editor in some of the action scenes, but the action was still enjoyable for what it is there. And the action just keep me awake here. But overall, not great cinema. Not necessarily what I would call a masterpiece or an amazing movie, but this is one movie I can definitely see myself throwing on and having some fun with it for an even 2 hours. Which is also one of the biggest issues here. There could have been like 10 minutes more of a few things fleshed out. But if you could want to see a movie with Jason Statham being badass, you definitely come here. It's definitely better than Expendables 2, definitely better than Meg 2 for those who are disappointed with that. And it's not one of his best action movies, but I have a lot of fun when it comes to it. And not the best movie that's going to get David Ayer back into the rings of cinema, but it is a movie that is going to at least give him a step in the right direction. And I would like to see another Beekeeper of this if they want to do more. So I would say if you want some dumb fun, definitely go see this in theaters. But if you want more realistic, groundbreaking, Oscar-worthy action, there's other movies there. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay Epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.